The Philippine Navy is standing at a pivotal crossroads in its modernization journey. For decades, the fleet has focused on patrol missions, maritime security, and limited defensive operations. But today, the regional security environment is changing rapidly. Air power, long-range missiles, and high-speed aerial threats are no longer distant concerns. They are now central to naval warfare in the Indo-Pacific. To meet these emerging challenges, the Philippine Navy is quietly exploring the possibility of acquiring its most capable surface combatant to date. A true air defense warship, designed not just to survive modern combat, but to dominate the battle space above the sea. Among the platforms being discussed, one design is increasingly drawing attention for its scale, firepower, and future-proof architecture. That ship is the HDF-6000, an advanced heavy frigate concept developed by Hyundai Heavy Industries of South Korea. This vessel is not simply an incremental upgrade over existing Philippine Navy ships. Instead, it represents a potential transformation, one that could elevate the Navy into a new operational category altogether. In this first part, we'll explore why the HDF-6000 matters, where it comes from, and how it fits into the Philippines' evolving naval ambitions. For much of its history, the Philippine Navy operated with limited resources and aging platforms. The emphasis was placed on internal security, territorial patrols, and maritime law enforcement rather than high-end naval combat. Warships were often lightly armed, focused more on presence than power. That began to change with the implementation of the AFP modernization program. The arrival of modern frigates, offshore patrol vessels, and improved naval aviation assets marked the first serious step toward rebuilding naval credibility. The Jose Rizal class frigates, recently renamed the Malvar class, symbolized this shift. With modern sensors, guided missiles, and improved command systems, they gave the Navy a long-overdue upgrade in capability. However, while these ships significantly improved surface warfare and self-defense, they still fall short in one critical area: air defense. In today's naval environment, controlling the airspace above and around a fleet is no longer optional. It is a requirement for survival. Modern naval combat is increasingly dominated by the air domain. Fighter aircraft, maritime patrol planes, armed drones, and cruise missiles can strike ships from hundreds of kilometers away. Even a technologically advanced ship can be rendered ineffective or destroyed if it lacks robust air defense systems. Most current Philippine Navy surface combatants are equipped primarily for point defense, meaning they can protect themselves, but not necessarily the fleet or nearby assets. This limits their ability to operate in high-threat environments or to act as command ships during joint operations. An air defense frigate, or more accurately a fleet air defense combatant, changes that equation entirely. Such a ship does not merely defend itself. It shields other vessels, protects maritime task groups, and contributes to joint air and missile defense networks. It becomes the backbone of fleet survivability. This is where the HDF-6000 enters the conversation. The HDF-6000 is a newly revealed export warship designed by Hyundai Heavy Industries, South Korea's leading naval shipbuilder. Unlike lighter frigates designed primarily for patrol and escort roles, the HDF-6000 is conceived from the ground up as a high-end, multi-role combatant with a strong emphasis on air warfare. Displacing approximately 6,500 tons, the HDF-6000 sits in a category above traditional frigates and just below full-size destroyers. This size is not accidental. It allows the ship to carry powerful sensors, large missile inventories, and advanced command systems without sacrificing endurance or survivability. For comparison, the Philippine Navy's current Malvar-class frigates displace roughly 3,000 tons, less than half the size of the HDF-6000. That difference translates directly into combat capability. Bigger hulls mean more power generation, more weapons, more redundancy, and more room for future upgrades. One of the strongest selling points of the HDF-6000 is its design heritage. Rather than starting from a blank slate, Hyundai based the HDF-6000's hull and core architecture on the KDX-2 Changmugong Yisun Sin class destroyers, which have been in service with the Republic of Korea Navy for years. These destroyers are known for their durability, balanced design, and combat reliability. They were built to operate in contested waters and to face real-world threats, not just theoretical ones. But Hyundai did not stop there. The HDF-6000 also incorporates design philosophies and technologies derived from South Korea's next-generation KDDX stealth destroyer program. This includes improvements in radar cross-section reduction, integrated mast design, and internal layout optimization for survivability. The result is a ship that combines proven reliability with modern stealth and efficiency. Perhaps the most important implication of acquiring a ship like the HDF-6000 is what it says about the Philippine Navy's future role. A vessel of this size and capability is not limited to coastal patrols. It is designed for blue water operations capable of sustained deployment far from home ports. This opens the door to new mission profiles. Fleet air defense for task groups, protection of sea lines of communication, participation in multinational naval exercises at a higher level, contribution to regional maritime security frameworks. In essence, the HDF-6000 would allow the Philippine Navy to operate not just as a local maritime force, but as a credible regional partner. It is important to understand that acquiring a platform like the HDF-6000 is not merely a procurement decision. It is a strategic statement. Such a ship signals intent to protect national interests, to deter aggression, and to operate confidently in increasingly contested waters. It also reflects a recognition that future naval conflicts will be fast, multi-domain, and unforgiving. Ships that cannot see far, shoot far, and coordinate effectively will not last long. The HDF-6000 is designed with that reality in mind. So far, we've discussed why the HDF-6000 exists and what role it could play. But the true measure of any warship lies in its combat systems, its sensors, missiles, and integration. In the next part, we will take a deep dive into what makes the HDF-6000 a potential air defense powerhouse, including its vertical launch system, missile options, and radar capabilities. Because this is where the ship truly separates itself from anything currently in Philippine Navy service. In modern naval warfare, size alone does not define power. What truly determines dominance at sea is a warship's ability to detect threats early, process information rapidly, and neutralize targets before they strike. This is where the HDF-6000 begins to distinguish itself. Not as a simple surface combatant, but as a platform built around the principles of air and missile defense. At the heart of the HDF-6000's combat capability is a weapon system that fundamentally changes how a Navy fights: the Vertical Launch System, or VLS. The HDF-6000 is designed to carry up to 48 vertical launch cells, a number that immediately places it in a different league from most frigates currently available on the export market. To put this into perspective, the Philippine Navy's existing modern frigates are equipped with a far smaller missile loadout, optimized mainly for self-defense. While effective within their design limits, they lack the depth required for prolonged high-intensity engagements. A 48-cell VLS, by contrast, enables layered air defense. This means the ship can engage multiple threats at varying ranges, creating overlapping protective zones around itself and nearby vessels. Enemy aircraft, cruise missiles, or unmanned aerial systems would have to penetrate several defensive layers before reaching their targets. That kind of protection is not just beneficial, it is essential in modern naval operations. One of the most powerful aspects of the HDF-6000's VLS is flexibility. Rather than being tied to a single missile type, the system can be configured to carry a mix of interceptors depending on mission requirements. These may include medium-range surface-to-air missiles for fleet protection, long-range interceptors capable of engaging threats far beyond the horizon, potential future upgrades as missile technology evolves. This modular approach allows the Philippine Navy to tailor the ship's loadout based on strategic needs, threat assessments, and available budget. It also ensures that the ship remains relevant for decades, even as new missile systems are developed. One of the most discussed but least understood aspects of the HDF-6000 is its potential compatibility with ballistic missile defense, BMD. While the Philippines is not currently pursuing a dedicated BMD capability, the design of the HDF-6000 leaves that door open. With the right combination of radar sensors, combat management software, and interceptor missiles, a ship of this class could theoretically contribute to missile tracking and interception missions. Even if full BMD is not implemented, the ship could still enhance early warning and tracking capabilities. In strategic terms, this matters. It means the HDF-6000 is not locked into today's requirements. Instead, it is designed with an eye toward future threat environments, where missile proliferation and long-range precision strikes are becoming more common. No air defense system is complete without robust close-in weapon systems. Even the most advanced missiles can miss, be overwhelmed, or be bypassed. When that happens, the ship must rely on rapid-fire guns and point defense systems to neutralize incoming threats at very short range. The HDF-6000 is expected to be equipped with modern CIWS options, potentially including 30mm automatic cannon systems, rapid reaction gun-based interceptors, integrated fire control systems for high-speed engagement. These systems form the final defensive barrier, capable of destroying incoming missiles or drones mere seconds before impact. Beyond missile defense, the HDF-6000 retains strong traditional naval firepower. A medium-caliber naval gun, likely in the 76mm class, provides the ship with a versatile weapon capable of engaging surface targets, defending against aerial threats, conducting naval gunfire support for amphibious operations. This ensures the ship remains useful across a wide range of missions, from high-intensity conflict to humanitarian and disaster response operations. Weapons are only as effective as the sensors guiding them. Recognizing this, the HDF-6000 is designed around a high-end sensor suite capable of detecting, tracking, and prioritizing multiple threats simultaneously. One of the platform's strengths is its open architecture, allowing it to integrate different sensor and combat management systems depending on customer preference. This gives the Philippine Navy strategic choice. Two major sensor and systems providers are commonly associated with the HDF-6000 concept. On one side is Thales, a European defense giant with extensive experience in naval radar and combat systems. Thales solutions are already used by many NATO navies and are known for their reliability and combat-proven performance. On the other side is Hanwha Systems of South Korea, a rapidly advancing defense technology firm developing indigenous radars, integrated masts, and combat management systems. Choosing between these options would allow the Philippine Navy to align with established European standards or deepen technological integration with South Korean systems. Both paths have advantages, and the HDF-6000 is designed to support either. Modern warships are increasingly designed with integrated mast structures, combining multiple sensors, antennas, and communication systems into a single, streamlined unit. The HDF-6000 adopts this approach to reduce radar cross-section and improve electromagnetic compatibility. Fewer protruding components mean lower detectability, improved sensor performance, reduced maintenance complexity. These features enhance survivability in contested environments, where being detected first often means being targeted first. Perhaps one of the most transformative features of the HDF-6000 is its ability to operate as part of a networked battlespace. Rather than functioning in isolation, the ship can share sensor data with other naval vessels, receive targeting information from land-based radar stations, coordinate with aircraft and unmanned systems. This turns the HDF-6000 into a node within a larger defense network, multiplying its effectiveness far beyond what its own sensors could achieve alone. For the Philippine Navy, this capability is particularly valuable given the country's archipelagic geography. Ships, aircraft, and land-based assets must work together to maintain maritime domain awareness. A ship designed for extended operations must be able to stay at sea for long periods without sacrificing crew effectiveness. The HDF-6000's larger hull allows for improved living conditions, greater fuel and supply capacity, redundant systems for damage control. These factors directly affect combat readiness. A well-rested crew and a resilient ship are far more likely to perform effectively under stress. Taken together, these features position the HDF-6000 as a capability bridge, a ship that connects the Philippine Navy's current force structure with the demands of future warfare. It does not replace existing frigates. Instead, it complements them, providing high-end air defense and command capabilities that lighter ships simply cannot offer. In the final part, we will examine how the HDF-6000 compares to competing international designs, why South Korea's defense partnership matters, and what this ship could mean for the Philippines' long-term naval strategy. As the Philippine Navy looks toward the future, the decision to acquire a high-end air defense warship is not simply about adding another ship to the fleet. It is about redefining the Navy's role in regional security, reshaping deterrence strategy, and preparing for conflicts that may never be announced before they begin. The HDF-6000 sits at the center of this conversation, not just as a warship, but as a symbol of a broader transformation. In this final part, we will compare the HDF-6000 to rival platforms, examine South Korea's strategic role as a defense partner, and explore what this ship could mean for the Philippines over the next several decades. The global naval market offers several advanced frigate and destroyer designs. European shipbuilders, in particular, have a long history of exporting high-end naval vessels. However, the HDF-6000 occupies a unique position between traditional frigates and destroyers, offering capabilities that are often associated with much larger and more expensive ships. European frigate options. European companies have developed powerful frigate platforms with strong reputations in NATO navies. These ships often emphasize advanced sensors, stealth design, and interoperability with allied forces. However, they come with several challenges for emerging navies. Higher procurement costs, expensive maintenance and lifecycle support, complex supply chains, potential political restrictions on weapon systems. While European designs are technologically impressive, they may not always offer the best balance between cost and capability for a country like the Philippines. South Korea, on the other hand, has positioned itself as a cost-effective yet technologically advanced defense supplier. Over the past 2 decades, South Korean shipbuilders and defense companies have made major strides in naval engineering, missile systems, electronics, and combat management software. For the Philippines, South Korea is not an untested partner. The Philippine military already operates multiple South Korean platforms, including fighter aircraft, frigates, patrol vessels, amphibious, and logistics ships. These projects have generally been delivered on time and within agreed budgets, building a foundation of trust. Choosing the HDF-6000 would be a continuation of this partnership rather than a leap into unknown territory. Defense procurement is always a balance between ambition and affordability. The HDF-6000 offers a compelling middle ground, larger and more capable than standard frigates, less expensive and complex than full-scale destroyers, designed for export customers with scalable options. This modularity allows the Philippine Navy to start with a baseline configuration. Add advanced systems later as funding allows customized sensors and weapons based on strategic priorities. In practical terms, this means the Navy does not have to buy the most expensive configuration on day one. Instead, it can grow the ship's capabilities over time. One of the most critical questions is, what would a ship like the HDF-6000 change strategically? In contested maritime regions, naval power is not just about fighting wars. It is about preventing them. A high-end air defense ship sends a clear signal. The fleet can defend itself against modern air threats. Task groups can operate with greater confidence. Adversaries must consider higher risks before escalating. This changes the calculus for any potential aggressor. A ship capable of tracking, engaging, and defeating aerial threats at long range increases the cost of hostile action, thereby strengthening deterrence. Historically, the Philippine Navy has been seen primarily as a coastal and internal security force. Modernization efforts are slowly changing that perception. A platform like the HDF-6000 would accelerate this transformation. It would allow the Navy to participate in high-level multinational exercises, integrate into regional air and missile defense networks, lead task groups during joint operations, provide command and control capabilities during crises. In effect, the Philippines would move closer to being a strategic maritime actor, not just a regional patrol force. Acquiring an advanced warship is only part of the challenge. Operating it effectively requires highly trained officers and crew, new doctrines for air defense and fleet operations, advanced simulation and training infrastructure. However, these challenges also represent opportunities. Operating a ship like the HDF-6000 would push the Philippine Navy to develop modern naval warfare doctrine, invest in technical education and training, and build a cadre of highly skilled naval professionals. This human capital development may be just as valuable as the ship itself. Large naval procurement programs often come with opportunities for technology transfer, local industry participation, and joint maintenance and support facilities. If negotiated effectively, the HDF-6000 program could help strengthen the Philippines' domestic defense industry. Local shipyards, electronics firms, and engineering companies could participate in maintenance, upgrades, and subsystem integration. Over time, this builds national technological sovereignty. No major defense acquisition is without risks. Key challenges include high initial cost compared to lighter frigates, long training and integration timelines, dependence on foreign suppliers for advanced components, political and budgetary uncertainties. These factors must be carefully managed through phased procurement, strong government support, and long-term strategic planning. Imagine a future Philippine Navy task group operating in the West Philippine Sea. At its center sails a large, advanced air defense warship, its radar scanning hundreds of kilometers, its missile systems ready, its command center coordinating ships, aircraft, and shore-based sensors. Around it operate lighter frigates, patrol vessels, submarines, and maritime patrol aircraft. Together they form a layered, networked defense architecture. In this vision, the Philippine Navy is not reacting to threats. It is shaping the maritime environment. The HDF-6000 could be the cornerstone of that future. Warships are built from steel, electronics, and weapons. But they also carry something intangible: national ambition. For the Philippines, acquiring a ship like the HDF-6000 would represent confidence in national defense strategy, commitment to protecting maritime sovereignty, and willingness to invest in long-term security. It would mark a shift from incremental upgrades to strategic transformation. At this stage, the HDF-6000 remains a concept and potential contender in future procurement plans. Whether it becomes the Philippine Navy's next flagship depends on political will, budget priorities, strategic threat assessments, and negotiations with suppliers. However, the discussion itself is significant. It shows that the Philippine Navy is thinking beyond the present, beyond patrol missions, and toward the realities of 21st century naval warfare. The HDF-6000 is not just a bigger frigate. It is a vision of what the Philippine Navy could become: modern, networked, and capable of defending the nation in an era of advanced aerial and missile threats. Whether this ship sails under the Philippine flag remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the future of naval warfare in the region will belong to those who can see far, strike far, and integrate across domains. And platforms like the HDF-6000 are designed precisely for that future. If you found this analysis informative, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more in-depth coverage of Philippine defense and military modernization. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.